Labour are on course to lose a key mayoral post in May, polls suggest. We're going to read into this exclusive from the iPaper, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an exclusive from the iPaper with the headline that Labour are on course to lose a key mayoral post in May, the polls suggest. The Conservatives are ahead in the Cambridgeshire and Peterborough mayoral race, according to a poll by Labour Together. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit that like button, shares across social media so others are notified of this video. Now, I think it's very fair to say that regardless of whatever comes up in the spring statement, because obviously this has been recorded before that, Labour are already deeply unpopular with some of the policies and decision makings that they have made, such as not removing the two-child benefit cap, some of the fundamental changes that they've made to the winter fuel allowance, because some pensioners have been made worse off as a result of this. And then obviously we have the reports of the cuts and changes, the major changes that they're making to disability benefits. And all these things are very unpopular, and their intention of never wanting to tax the rich, and they rather take the money from the poorest in society rather than the wealthiest in society. All these things are turning people off from Labour and turning their votes to elsewhere. And for some of those people who have always voted Conservative, even if this current Conservative Party is seemingly chaos and the leader is not somebody who's really Prime Minister material, those people have already lost trust and faith in Labour. Whether you like them or not, there are voters who switch all the time. They're just not going to go back and switch for Labour based on they see more negative stories about Labour than they do positive. And to be fair, negative stories are more highlighted by the mainstream media than they are from the positive ones. But some of the negative stories from Labour are so bad, so wrong, that you just cannot ignore these. Now, obviously, there is a lot up for grabs in May, obviously, with the local elections. It's going to be Labour's first big test since the general election. There's a lot of pressure on reform to do well as well. And the Conservatives really, they're going into this really with, there's not really any pressure on the Conservatives. Like, if they do well, it's really good for Kemi. If they don't do well, well, it's to be expected. So for them, it's like a nothing to lose scenario for the Conservatives, because like nobody really gives a damn about them right now. Like, because for me, like, they're not very clear about what their policies are, except one, which we'll come to in another video. But they've not really made much of a shoehorn of themselves as opposition parties. They've not really done a lot, in my opinion, to really hold this Labour government to account as an opposition party, in my opinion. In fact, I think they've been very, very weak in doing so. But like I said, there are people who have always voted Conservative and decide to switch to Labour, and there are those who will vote for whatever they feel is in their best interest. And sometimes people are just going to vote red or blue at the end of the day on this one. I will also point out, obviously, it is a poll conducted by Labour Together. So with any polls, I always say take them with a pinch of salt, unless they're from the likes of YouGov, then maybe you could take a bit more account into it. The polls don't always give a true indication of everything that is happening, guys. So, Labour is on track to lose a key mayoral post in May's local election, a new poll has found in a potential blow for Sir Keir Starmer. The party unexpectedly won the election for Mayor of Cambridgeshire and Peterborough in 2021, a time when the Conservatives were still riding high under Boris Johnson. But a poll by the think tank Labour Together has found that at the next election on the 1st of May, the Tories are on course to defeat Labour. Such a result would come as a boost to Kemi Badenoch on the day when her party is expected to sustain major losses in council elections, and Reform UK could pick up at least one mayoralty. That would be very good for the Conservatives, and it would be a massive boost to Kemi Badenoch, considering that if the Conservatives were to do terrible at these local elections, which many people are expecting to, despite what people are thinking of Labour, people still think the Conservatives are going to get trashed. The premise is that Kemi Badenoch will face the boot after this local election, because that's what a lot of people think. But her last Prime Minister's question, she actually did all right, but it was on Labour's faults as well. So perhaps, I mean, there is time between now and May for the Conservatives to turn them around. And it looks like this potentially may be one of them. Labour Together found that 31% of Cambridgeshire voters were planning to back the Conservatives, with 27% voting Labour, Liberal Democrats on 20%, and Reform trailing with 13%. This is what their sources, Labour Together, are predicting. They're predicting more votes for the Conservatives than Labour. 20% Lib Dems and Reform. You always get a slice here for Reform everywhere now. The group, which polled 822 local residents earlier this month, said that the Lib Dem voters would have to back Labour tactically if they want to keep the Tories out of office. Labour candidate Anna Smith is facing former Conservative MP Paul Briscoe after the incumbent Mayor Boris Johnson decided not to seek re-election. Electri Kilpatrick Laurent of Labour Together told the iPaper that Cambridgeshire and Peterborough look set to go to the wire with the Labour and the Conservatives neck and neck. Convincing voters who currently say they will vote for Liberal Democrats to back Anna Jay and stop a Tory mayor from winning offers Labour the clearest path to victory. With these kind of elections often decided on the hyper-local issues, Labour will be looking to focus on the things that matter most to voters, like potholes and public services such as buses, housing and healthcare. There was literally a story out today in one of the papers where the Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, is saying, get on with fixing the potholes, telling councils to get on with them when they literally don't have enough money as it is. The voting system for mayoral elections has changed to straightforward first past the post, having previously involved 2 rounds which allow voters a choice between just 2 candidates. Johnson won in Cambridgeshire in 2021 with the backing of Lib Dem and Green voters after coming second in the first round. Mayor's elections will also see mayors chosen in the west of England, Greater Lincolnshire and Hull and East Yorkshire. Lincolnshire and Hull are top targets for reform, with the Lib Dems also hoping to win in Hull, where Labour is seen as favourite in the west of England. More than 1,600 council seats are up for election on the same day, which could also see the by-election in Runcorn and Hesby after the resignation of Labour MP Mike Ansbury, who was convicted of punching a man in the street. Yeah, he was a dickhead. He deserved to resign. He should have gone much sooner, if I'm honest, but that is what it is. But yeah, there's a lot of council seats up for election, over 1,000, 1,600, as they said there, at this May local election. And obviously, this polling is suggesting that Labour are on course to lose stuff. And I'm going to be absolutely dead honest, I would not be surprised if Labour get a thrashing at these local elections, because they've not given people optimism. They've not given people something that people want, and that is hope, a better quality of life. People are not feeling that. And yes, I understand some people, and I've said this. I've said I'll wait till the end of the year before I'd be more judgment. Wait till the end of the year to see how things really have improved, because then they would have a full year in charge, like such as the NHS. Like they are bringing the waiting list down. I mean, I'd like to hope that the next winter we don't have a winter crisis. That's actually under control, but we'll have to wait and see. But the cost of living, inequality are the biggest problems in society right now, and to be quite frank, they're not being addressed. And unless they address this key issue, yes, it is linked to many departments, but it just feels like to me that this government are not willing to put their money in to actually make a difference to people's lives. But maybe some of you will disagree. So what do you guys think? What do you guys make of this poll? Do you think actually Labour are going to secure the Cambridgeshire and Peterborough mayoral race? Maybe some of you think that Labour will do better than maybe some polling is suggesting. What are you guys' thoughts on all of this? Let me know down in the comments section below. Now, if you found this video informative or helpful in any way to you, please hit that like button, be greatly appreciated, and share it across social media so others not find this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and do click that join button so you can join the YouTube membership for as little as 99p, get your access to extra perks and other goody stuff. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.